Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony A. Cordova.
What's up?
How you doing, Jill? What's been happening?
Oh,
anything?
No. Well, I've been... Stop.
Where'd you go, Jill? Come back. Come back.
Playing footsies. I don't like playing footsies. What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? What is the problem with you? Anyone touching your feet?
I don't like people to touch my feet.
But it was my
I don't even
feet,
like pedicures for that very reason.
My feet touching your feet. Isn't
It's
that
still
romantic?
Touching. No.
Come on.
Stop.
It's not romantic?
No. I don't like
on.
my feet to be touched.
But I'm your husband. Let me touch your feet.
No.
All right. I'll try again. I'll try again another time. Hey, listeners, so you know, don't touch Jill's feet.
Nope. You might get kicked.
Don't touch
Remember that
Jill's
time?
feet.
Remember that time? That you grabbed my foot when I was on your couch.
It was like you were electrocuted.
It was. I do not like that feeling.
I wish I had recorded that. That would have been.
Yeah, you keep saying we probably would have.
We could have won on funniest videos.
I didn't think it was funny at all.
America's funniest videos.
I didn't find it funny.
It was funny to me. Well, anyway, Jill, what is our topic?
Well, thank goodness it's not that.
This episode, what is our topic?
What we're discussing, ironically, is that we agree more than we don't.
Yes, yeah. We have this podcast, right? So,
yes.
So what do you want to call it? We're calling it what?
We agree.
We agree.
So when I say I'm right.
I'm right.
We are both right.
Yeah, we just agree.
Yeah, so let's get to our segment that we call
Stand by Your Stance.
So I think we should tell listeners how this topic came up.
How did this topic come? Oh, yeah, I know how this came up. See, quite often, listeners have asked us when they see us in person, how do we come up with all of our topics?
Yes.
And,
because we are real with all of our topics.
There are usually some conversations we've had with each other, and we'll say, okay, let's make that a topic. We'll save it for the podcast.
Yes.
And sometimes I will say to Jill, okay, well, this week, we actually need to do something we really disagree about.
Yes. And you said that today.
Yes. And then, but we couldn't think of anything.
So we're like, well, what?
We used up all of the stuff we disagree about.
Yes. So we were like, wow, it was really hard for us to come up with something that we truly disagree.
Isn't that sickening? Sickening. I bet you people are listening to us. They're just so sickening. They're always agreeing and everything. Sickening. But you don't agree with me that I should be able to touch your feet.
No, I do. Nope, I do not. I do not.
But what does one do with a couple that see eye to eye on so many things? It's almost sickening.
Well, I would like to say that it took us a while to get there, but really it didn't. Although when we were dating, remember that's how the idea for this podcast came about. When we were dating, I would say something, but a lot of times I think you would just say something back just to say it. Cause you do a lot of trash talk all the time.
Yeah. And quite often I did,
just to get me riled up.
It's just to see, where the conversation would go.
Right.
Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah, but I don't do that with the podcast.
No, you don't. When you hear us disagree, it's truly a disagreement.
So,
But in regard to your question of what does one do if they see a couple and they're just clicking on everything, like they click,
Yeah, what's up with that? What is up with that?
Well, I think it goes back. You remember that episode that we talked about pickers? And some people's pickers are off.
Yeah.
Our pickers are great.
Okay.
So
where do we go with that?
Well,
okay, we're great. We're great. Where our pickers are on. Our pickers.
Careful. Careful.
My picker is right where it's supposed to be.
Mine too.
Want me to show you?
No.
I'll show you where my picker is.
No, you can wait for that. So are we sickening to other people? Listeners, I'd actually like to know.
Yes, we'd like to know.
Because a lot of times when people see us in person, they'll say two things. They'll say, you're not doing a podcast because this is how we really talk to each other.
Yeah, because that's like with our family.
Yes. They'll keep saying, you're not recording right now. We're like, but this is how we talk. This is who we really are.
That's true.
And that's the other thing that people say if they don't know us very well. They're like, are you all really like this? How much of your show is scripted? And the answer is none of it is scripted. This is really who we are. Never. So I really am this nice.
Yes, you really are. You really are. I can tell people, oh, God bless Jill. She's changed my evil ways.
Your evil ways? What are you talking about?
She changed my ways from drinking and fighting and into a nice person. I'm no longer a lawbreaker.
I don't know about that. I got
you to break some laws with me. Take a walk on the wild side, baby.
Goodness. Corruptive.
No, you've turned me into a better man. Better than I used to be. Not that I was awful.
No, you weren't at all. You were never evil.
I was never evil. I've always been kind.
Yes.
I think my biggest issue was that I was very blunt in the past.
The past?
Well,
you mean you're not anymore? You think you've lost that?
Oh, I turned it down a lot.
Really?
Oh, a whole lot.
Really?
Yes, really.
When?
A whole lot. All the time we've been
together.
So
that time that we were listening to my friend and you said, you can do that. You can do that too. Oh, you can't do that. That wasn't your being blunt?
No, that was just stating facts.
Bluntly, yes.
But it wasn't meant to be hurtful. It was just...
Oh, it didn't hurt me, but it stayed with me.
Observation.
But aren't most observations that you discuss, aren't they? Don't you say them bluntly?
That you cannot break out into song in the middle of a speech.
No, I know I cannot sing now, thanks to you.
So, but no.
But it's funny you say that.
I have learned, sometimes to just keep my mouth shut.
Which is interesting because you're the very person that told me to stop censoring myself. So I think I've actually become more blunt.
Yes, you needed to. But I've learned to keep my mouth shut sometimes. Because my mouth could get me into, I wouldn't say
you used to
trouble.
Tell secrets a lot.
I still tell secrets.
You admit it.
But what they deem to be secrets. They didn't say, hey, this is a secret. Whoever it was. But sometimes certain things need to come to the surface.
True.
And if you want me to keep a secret, You need to
Listeners,
tell me.
you need to tell him.
Hey,
don't tell anybody.
This is a secret. Don't tell anybody.
Yes, I've learned to say that to you.
Yes, and then I won't. But there's certain things I don't tell, and I think you've learned that over the years. There are certain things I just do not tell.
True.
You won't get an inkling out of me that I know about something.
Yes.
But then there's other things that are pretty, lighthearted, like that you sleepwalk, or you used to sleepwalk a lot.
I never told you that was a secret. Did I?
No, you didn't. You did not want people to know that you slept.
Well, I didn't want people to think I was crazy. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Yeah, well, anyway, things like that, just not too serious. But I've also learned how to, sometimes just keep my mouth shut when I'm screaming to say something. Screaming.
Is that what comes out in your writing? It does with me. If I can't say something that I really want to say, I put it on paper. Which is probably worse because now it's on paper.
not so much. Not so much. Usually, anything I write, because I do spoken word, I am willing to say out in public.
Yes.
So it's not something that I was hiding.
That's an episode we should do in the future.
What's that?
You and your poetry.
This is not a spoken word podcast.
I said not this. Oh, well, not a podcast, but there's an episode where you have a lot to say, is what I'm trying to say. You have a lot to say, and it often comes out in your poetry. So it would be nice if we did an episode with selected poems.
Selected poems?
Yes, be very selective about which ones you do.
No. People will say, "Oh, I didn't know Tony was a militant." I could be classified as a militant with some of the things I write.
I've never liked that word because I always thought that those who were called militant weren't militant at all. They were just standing up against injustices. So I've always hated that word.
Yeah, but people still get classified that way, and I'm sure.
Now, the only time I thought you looked militant was that time we were in New Orleans and you had on the Black in America t-shirt and you had on shades like Secret Service and you had your arms folded. And people wouldn't get on the elevator with us.
And bandana.
Yep.
And arms crossed.
Arms crossed. People were nervous about you.
And we walked down the street and one stranger
on the
walked
other
up.
Side.
Well, yeah, but one stranger walked up and said, "Hey, smile, you're in New Orleans." I said, I was smiling. This is me smiling. I'm such a kind, nice person. I don't see how anyone could ever mistake me for someone that is dangerous.
That day you looked dangerous. You did. You did.
So where are we with this episode?
I think that the reason that we agree so much is because we actually take the time to have conversations and listen to each other. So we talk things out all the time. We talk a lot to each other and we hear each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of the time. Unless sometimes I tune you out. I tune you out more than you tune me out.
Excuse me?
It's true. We've talked about this before. But we do listen to, there's no with that. You know that. You've called me out on it.
But you need to stop tuning me out.
I have.
What I have to say has some importance, some relevance.
I do listen more than I used to. I do.
You are hurting my feelings.
But I'm actually agreeing with you that I listen to you more than I used to.
Why didn't you listen to me? Is the question.
Because I was usually busy doing something else. And at the time, I needed to do that something else. But now I might stop to do
foul.
Isn't this the episode where we're talking about what we agreed on?
Well, maybe it's turning into something we disagree on. Maybe there are some things we disagree on.
We've already done that episode.
No.
We have.
No.
We did that episode.
Pay attention to me.
I do.
You listen to what I have. It's important.
I do.
I am like the best listener ever. You can talk about.
You're not.
Oh, yes.
You're not the best listener ever.
In comparison to you.
I've gotten a lot better.
In comparison to you.
I've gotten a lot better.
I will, you just volunteered for residency, right? Right?
That's over. I did it already,
Yes. But at the end of each day, you would tell me everything that happened during the
Not
residency.
Everything, just the highlights.
Yeah, but
the things that excited me.
I will,
because every day I was excited by something.
I will keep my mouth shut and just listen for hours.
I didn't speak for hours.
Hours.
Take it back. I didn't speak for hours.
Hours.
I didn't speak for hours.
And I would just listen.
Which would make me say, are you listening? Because, you could have tuned me out, gone somewhere else, drifted off.
But I always say, and you've learned when I'm not listening, I will tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening.
So you admit,
but
you don't always listen.
No, but in these cases, yes, I was listening because you would even ask me, are you still there? Are you still listening to me?
Yes, because you hadn't said a word.
And I will say, yes, you just said bum, 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 bum. Okay, then you continue.
So your point is?
My point is, I'm a better listener than you because when...
Not anymore. I've gotten better. And why are we talking about this? We've done this episode before.
Listeners, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. So
I do listen to you.
This is amazing. It's an episode about we agree, but I do not agree with you on this point. I am a better listener than you are. Much better.
If you were listening, you would know that I said, yes, you are. But you're not the best listener in the world. That is what I said. If you were listening, you would have heard me say that.
In your book, I am, because nobody listens to you as much as I do. But
you're the only I talk to you more than anybody else.
But when it's the other way around and I start talking about my day or something that I did, you fall asleep. You fall asleep.
I can't help you.
You fall asleep while I'm talking.
You have a wonderful, soothing voice. It's like the waves of the ocean.
I'm not.
And how
I'm not buying it.
That is,
you just
it's not what you're saying. It's that your voice is just so soothing.
Out. No, I'm not buying it. The listeners aren't buying it.
Yes, they are.
You just feel
listeners
that
who know
what
me
I
know.
have to say is not important, even though my days are relatively boring. But it's still my day that I want to talk to you about.
Listen to you.
And you just start. You'll actually start snoring while I'm talking to you. Okay, and the only reason I don't harp on this more is because I have a thick skin.
Apparently not.
No, I do. But you can't keep this stuff pinned in all the time. All the time. I have to let it out. And
sweetheart.
Yes.
Sometimes when you're telling me about your day, we could be lying in bed and you're talking, but you're talking like this. And then you'll say, and then something did like this. And it's just so soothing as opposed to the way I talk, because I talk, when I tell you a story, I'm very excited by what I'm telling you, but you're not excited about your day. So the way you tell me this, and it's already late at night, and I've already had a long day, and I feel safe and secure with your voice, and it just puts me to sleep sometimes.
Listeners, I could be talking to Jill in the dining room, in the den, on the couch with television on.
Well, I prefer to actually sleep in the. I find the couch in the den more comfortable than our bed.
So, are you telling me to not tell you anything about my day while you're on the couch?
If I look really relaxed and comfortable on the couch, laying down
because you won't listen to me,
I might go to sleep.
This is no. But I can be anywhere and I listen to you and I don't fall asleep and I listen to what you have to say because I know you need to say it.
You don't always listen to what I have to say.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't.
I do. When I don't, I let you know. I say, "Oh, I'm sorry. My mind was somewhere else."
So, how is that any better?
I don't fall asleep on you when
I don't always fall asleep on you.
That doesn't make it better. I
hardly ever fall asleep on you.
That doesn't make it any better. You need to do better. You need to do better.
When's the last time I fell asleep on you?
Last night.
That is not true.
Last night.
That is not true.
Last night.
That is not true.
I even showed
Tell
you.
The truth.
I said, Jill.
Tell the truth.
I said, Jill.
I fell asleep on this boring series we were watching.
It wasn't boring.
Apparently it was to me. No, I went right to sleep.
No, it wasn't, because when you woke up, you asked me what happened. So if you really didn't care, you wouldn't.
Because I knew that you continued to watch after I fell asleep.
But if you didn't care,
but you weren't talking to me. We were watching a series. No, that is not the same.
Before that, I said, you know what, Jill? If you if you need a sleep aid, all I need to do is just tell you about my day, and you'll fall asleep.
That is not what made me fall asleep. It was the series. I did not fall asleep while you were talking.
It was probably the thought of talking to me made you fall asleep.
That is not true.
I am actually surprised you don't fall asleep while we're doing this podcast and I'm talking. That's why I don't talk that much on the podcast. I don't talk for too long. See, that way you won't fall asleep.
What are you saying?
That's probably that's what I do.
I need to check your temperature because clearly you're a little delusional that's right now. That's what I do.
So in
fact, I started this podcast by telling you that I think that we do well by agreeing on many things because we do take the time to talk to each other. We talk to each other all the time, and you agreed with that, and you agreed that we have many conversations.
We do have many conversations.
So what are you saying now? You're contradicting yourself.
Not really, because the conversations that we have are conversations that you would like to discuss. But if it's a conversation where I'm just telling you about my day,
that's not true. Take it back. That's not true.
No.
Take it back.
I'm not taking it back.
That is
We're gonna go down.
True.
We are.
Tell the truth.
No matter how close you get to that mic, it doesn't make you right.
Tell the
so
truth.
You need to back off, woman. Back off.
The truth.
So
let's get to our second segment.
Oh Lord.
That we call.
Give it a rest and a resolution.
What?
You
want to talk? Talk.
You stopped me.
Because we had to get to our next segment. But now you can talk.
Okay. Here's what I have to say for this segment. I want to thank the listeners, first of all, for us doing this episode where we thought that we agree so much that we don't have anything to disagree about. But we actually do. If we didn't do this episode, we wouldn't have found out that we do have things that we disagree about. Still, we have things to disagree about. And it reminds me of another episode where I said it was an episode about pet peeves. And we were saying that, see, you're giving me the rap sign, trying to shut me up because you're falling asleep.
No, I'm not. We have to move on.
And I remembered a few days ago that the Pet Peeve show, and I said, oh, I really don't have any more pet peeves. But as I thought about it more, I have a whole lot of pet peeves that I didn't even realize.
Take it back.
That's all.
You don't mean that. Take it back.
That I don't have pet peeves?
A lot more than what you said in that whole episode.
Yeah, I do. But pet peeves got nothing to do with you. It's my pet peeves.
You're looking.
My pet peeves. These are my issues. My issues. Not your issues. They're my issues.
Am I part of those pet peeves?
No.
See, you couldn't even say that with a straight face. Well, my resolution is that Tony has totally twisted what this episode is supposed to be. And he's just making up stuff for entertainment, I believe. So off air will be an interesting conversation. But let's get to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
So you have advice for couples who might think they agree on most things?
No. 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 I want to twist this a little bit.
Again?
Yes. So this is what I have to say. For the couples that believe you disagree on many, many, many things, I think if you look a little deeper, you'll find that you actually agree on more things than you think. So they may be just like us, but they don't realize it because they don't take the time to really look at it and dissect it.
Okay.
So take a look, listeners.
Okay. I'm definitely going to take a look at at us. Well, my advice is don't compare your relationship to other people's because everybody's different.
Everyone is different.
And you relate to each other differently. So even if you do believe that Tony and I agree on most things, don't compare yourself to us because you're definitely different than us, I am sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get to our last segment that we call.
So, what do you think? What do you think?
Because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
I really want to hear from listeners on this one. Don't you?
Yes, I would love to listen.
What I would like for listeners to call in and tell us is, what do you think this episode actually was? Because I don't know. I'd like to hear what they heard.
I think we could have called this episode Discovery.
Oh. That we discovered that we don't agree on as much as we thought.
Yes. And the reason that being
and that you forgot about that whole episode we did about how I admitted I wasn't a good listener and that I do tune you out, but I've gotten much better at it. So will you please acknowledge that?
No. I still disagree.
I have gotten better.
I still I'm sorry.
You don't think I've gotten any better?
I disagree. Oh, maybe a little bit, but I still disagree.
Take it back. Take it back.
No, I'm not taking it back. I still disagree. I still disagree. If I listen to you and what you have to say, let's say 90% of the time, you listen to me and what I have to say maybe 75% of the time.
But it used to be like 50. So I've gotten better. I've gotten better. So tell people.
I want our numbers to even out in percentage wise.
I'm keep going up. Tell people what the number is.
The number is 404-594-2247.
And you've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony A. Cordova.
Shout out to.
You don't like me to say Anthony.
It just throws me off. Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Sinke for the art. And thank you, listeners, but I really want to hear from listeners.
Thank you, listeners. They're not going to call in.
Well, when they
afraid.
When they do call in, they will take up for me.
No, here's the thing. When they want to take up for you, they leave messages. When they want to take up for me, they don't leave any messages.
Because they don't want to take up for you.
They don't want to hurt your feelings.
They don't want to hurt yours.
They don't want to hurt you. They know I have a thick skin, but you don't. You need to close this show out now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.